His podcast?
Yeah, podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is. Podcast. We don't even know what a podcast is.
Well. Back at you, doing it again. The podcast is back in full effect. And if you say that you don't know what a podcast is by this point, Meek Mill or whoever you are saying words such as that, I'm here to tell you that you can find out real easily what the answer to that question is, that dilemma, not knowing what a podcast is. All you have to do is simply go to wax.com or go to iTunes or whatever and listen to this motherfucker. Wax's podcast. Wax's podcast. See how fucking self-centered I am, y'all? I have in my house, when we had a party recently, we had a party at my house a few weeks ago, and since I don't have any friends because I'm so self-centered, all I care about is myself. Since I don't have that many people to invite over to my house, I have some, not a lot though. Anywho, the friends of my roommates come over, and several of them notice, how come Wax has shit with his name on it everywhere? There's rolling papers that say Wax. There's pint glasses that say Wax. There's a branding iron by the grill that says Wax. There's coffee cups around the house that have Wax's picture on it. T-shirts that say Wax. CDs that say Wax. Shirts that say Wax. The fucking koozies around people's beers would say Wax. Almost all drinking utensils in our house might say Wax on them. And you know why, y'all? It's because I'm a self-centered, stereotypical artist. And you know what that leads to sometimes, don't you? Any guess? Any fucking guess what that leads to sometimes? Yes. To those who answered correctly, yes, you're correct. Anyone who said alcoholism is correct. And, I hope that this podcast doesn't get... I'm going to try to do the podcast more often, especially considering I'm fucking sober now. I'm going to try to do this podcast more often. Try to step my game up. Keep myself sane. What? Yeah, they say that a lot of times alcoholics are egomaniacs with low self-esteem or just generally self-centered people. And often that's why musicians, authors, poets, things like that, often they become alcoholics because they're so involved in their own career that they become like isolationists. Is that a word? Isolationist? Drinking is a party. Drinking is social. But once you get to a certain level, which I got to many years ago, drinking is really antisocial. You drink alone. You drink by yourself. You drink more when you're by yourself than you would when you're out with other people. As a matter of fact, when you're out with other people, you might just seem like you're drinking normally, just like anybody else. But they go home, go to sleep, or watch a movie. You go home and make sure to get to 7-Eleven before 2, or the liquor store before 2, so you can buy yourself a 12-pack and drink continuously until you pass out. And I like to talk like the guys on the BBC when I talk about this because it's so serious. Such a serious topic. But anyway, I'm hoping that Wax's podcast doesn't get to like, oh, woe is me, let me talk about alcohol all the time. I guess I probably already do, but that's kind of like the center of my life right now is I'm trying to quit drinking and I'm trying to quit smoking. Not even any really trying about it. I'm 8 days in on both. Haven't smoked a cigarette or drank any alcohol in 8 days. I guess for a short period of time like that, the cigarettes is actually the tougher one. You can get 8 days without alcohol probably easier than you can get 8 days of quitting smoking because obviously you smoke so much kind of more often. And just going without it 8 days, that kind of like really alleviates a lot of the physical aspect of it. It's pretty much all mental after that. Whereas for, Jesus Christ, for alcohol, there's always a reason to drink that shit. There's always a reason to drink that. And it's not frowned upon. I mean, cigarettes are even more frowned upon than alcohol. You walk down the street, see motherfuckers drinking alcohol everywhere. Like it ain't shit. I had a moment the other day. I walked by a bar I used to always go to. I didn't even think about drinking. I just thought of the concept of just ordering one. Just walking up to the bar and ordering what I want to drink from the bartender like I've done a million times and like people always do. But you know what? Not anymore, y'all. I've reached that point. I'm keeping it real on this podcast. I am done with that shit. I hit the bottom. And, it's hard to explain this because I know a lot of you guys drink. I know a lot of you guys drink alcohol, and I know some of you guys will drink alcohol for the rest of your life and be totally fine with it. Have 2 drinks, have 3 drinks, whatever. Sometimes you have 10 drinks, but you always have the ability to have 1 or 2. Once you get to be a certain age, I think usually that's in your 30s. It could be anywhere. It could be some people in their teens. I don't know. But I've reached the point in my life, they call alcoholism progressive. It gets worse and worse, and you start to really, really feel that for real, especially if you're kind of like, if you're an introspective person like myself and you kind of like in touch with the way that you are, just the way that you act, and you like kind of inwardly study the trends of your own activity. And in recent years, I'll quit drinking for a little while. Then I'll go back to it. And this year, the amount that I quit and then go back to it, the times get shorter because when I drink if I drink, I have to drink a lot and it ends up being a few days worth of it. Then when I finally decide to fucking stop again, alcohol is a depressant. And at this point in my life, for some reason, at this point, it's not like, it wasn't like this 10 years ago. It wasn't like this 5 years ago. But now, when I wake up after consuming a bunch of alcohol, especially for days and days on end, I feel that misery. I feel that depression. And when I go for a week without it, even though it's really fucking hard, and I get anxiety and all that bullshit, I think especially because of the fact that I do other things, I'm doing yoga and shit. I'm on some other shit, y'all. I'm a man who I never thought I would be. You change. You go through life and you change. You become a different person sometimes. And right now I'm in like a full-blown metamorphosis. For many years I was a caterpillar. Right now I'm in the cocoon. Will I come out a butterfly? Or will the fucking cocoon be squashed by an outside force? Will the cocoon get caught up in a fucking rainstorm, end up in the river, go down creek? Little did they know it was the same creek that leads to Niagara Falls. Falls down the falls. Not in a barrel, just a cocoon, which is not very water resistant. Gets to the bottom. Ends up in the whirlpool down there by the Maid of the Mist boat. Round and round it goes, round and round it goes. But even at that point, still have the ability to make it out a butterfly. Will that butterfly make it all the way to the bottom of the Hudson? I don't know what fucking river that is. What Niagara Falls is what? Some French explorer. Isn't the name of a French explorer? Isn't that who that? I don't know. But right now I'm in a cocoon, y'all. I'm in a little bit of a cocoon state of my life. For the last 20 fucking years, I've been smoking cigarettes and drinking to relieve my stress. This year, I'm finding new ways of doing that by doing yoga and by fucking whatever else people do to not be anxious. But, I wasn't born addicted to alcohol. I made myself that way. Anybody who's addicted to alcohol has made themselves that way. Maybe there was some genetic predisposition. Maybe, it's different if you have like fetal alcohol syndrome or something like that, I guess. I didn't have that, as far as I know. And I I'm trying to become a new man. And sometimes I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast before, but when you stop drinking, and this time it ain't no 30 days, y'all. I'm trying to do it for good. The shit doesn't serve me anymore. Alcohol does not serve me anymore. It doesn't do valuable things for me anymore. Let me explain to you this. When it's a nice day, I'm outside here in Southern California. Maybe I'm barbecuing. Maybe I'm by the beach. Maybe I'm with some friends at a party. I have a couple beers. I get to beer number 3, and I feel fucking excellent. Beer 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even up to 8. I feel excellent. But is there really a need to go beyond 8? Is that really necessary? Because I can't stop. I just keep going and going. And if I stop, I no longer feel enjoyment because all I feel is anxiety trying to think of where can I get another drink. Recently, that has come to head in a couple different ways. Like, I found myself a couple weeks ago, I went out and it ended up at a karaoke bar, Korean-style karaoke bar, not American-style karaoke bar. It was after hours, and they were letting us in there after hours, but I think they weren't serving alcohol. So I started going around to tables where people had already left. I was fucking drunk, and I was just fucking drinking whatever was left in the cups on the tables. I don't know who had that shit. I think one of them might even had a cigarette butt in there. I drank the shit anyway. Dumb shit. Dumb crackhead shit. So it's not serving me anymore. That moment, that like hour and a half that I was talking about when you're at a party and you have a great time between 3 and 7 beers, for me to achieve that hour and a half, I'm also going to have all the bullshit that comes with it. So for that hour and a half, let's say I spend another 8 hours after that drinking so heavily that I don't even know what's going on. Then the next day is a waste because I'm old and I can't fucking do hangover. I might even go further than that. I might start drinking again the next day because I don't have a fucking job. So that's, point is to get that hour and a half of time where alcohol serves me, I probably have to do 40 hours of time where it's bad for me. And if I just don't do any of that, I'm better off. My point is I'm trying to quit alcohol, and I'm taking all the steps. That's a double entendre. Unintentional double entendre. If you've ever been to fucking AA meetings, they do the 12 steps. I've been going to AA meetings. If you want me to talk about that, okay, I will. I don't know how I feel about that shit. If you've listened to my mixtape, I'll go into it a little bit on the song AO, which stands for Alcoholics Obvious. I think I'm changing my mental tune on my thoughts of AA right now. Because when I first started going, I'd see people get up there and they go to meetings every day and they'd be like, I'm 30 years sober. And my thought with that was like, wow, that's really depressing. You haven't drank in 30 years and you're still going to these fucking meetings. But now I realize it. They probably just got just as addicted to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings as they ever were to alcohol. And after going, I get it. It's not somewhere where I'm probably going to end up. In 30 years, I probably will not be doing that. But I respect it because what they're doing is they're helping other people. And part of the recovery process from alcohol, according to Alcoholics Anonymous, is the selflessness required to help other people quit drinking alcohol. And that becomes a lifestyle. Just the way they go into bars and fucking shit like that is a lifestyle. If you're young and you're listening to this, don't get depressed. Don't get mad at yourself for drinking. If there's anybody who understands the joy of that shit, it's fucking me. Trust me. But yeah. Just going to try to make this podcast might be a little bit depressing-ish like this, but I will try to veer to various topics in the future that are otherwise meep zorp. Yeah, but the shit ain't serving me anymore. It's like a girlfriend, man. It's like a girlfriend. And of course, it's it's exactly like a girlfriend in my case, because my ex-girlfriend likes to drink. She would definitely never quit. Now, I mean, maybe not never, but I don't think she's an alcoholic. She can stop. But it's just like, I guess, our relationship or whatever. Sometimes relationships just stop serving you. They were great, and now they're not. Now it's just not working out. And that's how my relationship with alcohol is currently. And I decided to break up with alcohol. I decided that a couple months ago. But since then, a couple different times, I was like, oh, well, shit. I can just have a glass of wine. There's at least a couple of y'all that know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. I know there's at least one person that listens to this that has had this problem because I've received the email. But, you know, you younger folk or non-alcoholic folk, when you hear somebody that doesn't drink, like some older person, they say, I can't have just one glass. I can't just have one beer. I can't just have a shot with you and that's it. Dude, they fucking mean that shit. They mean it. You know, I told myself that I quit after the July 4th weekend of Havoc that me and my boy Frage had. And we decided to quit drinking. And I quit for like 40 days. I went on a date. I went on a little date. And I had 2 glasses of wine on the date. And, you know, as alcoholics do, I rationalized to myself, well, I'm not even really a wine drinker. So I can just have wine. I'll just have wine on dates. That'll be my exception. But lo and behold, I went on a date with the same girl again a week later. And I had some wine on that date too. But that's not all that I had. No. Took some shots. Had a couple beers. A plethora of alcoholic beverages. Had a great fucking time. And, you know, one thing leads to another. Then all of a sudden, you're like, well, I already did that. I'm just going to start drinking again. Then you wake up after a couple days of drinking and you feel terrible. And then even after that, week goes by where you quit. You go to a bar with your friend because you wanted to see the band play. You didn't give a fuck about going to the bar. That's what I did. Went and saw an amazing band. Amazing fucking band. The best bar rock cover band I've ever seen. I saw a couple weeks ago. Hadn't drank all day. Hadn't drank for like a week. It got to be 1 a.m. at that bar, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have a beer. I'll just have a beer. After that beer, went to my boy's house. Had a few more beers. Had quit smoking for a week, too. Bummed a cigarette from his girlfriend. Proceeded to bum like 5 cigarettes from his girlfriend. Got a Lyft. Lyft is like Uber. If you don't know, a lot of people, I guess some cities don't have Lyft, Lyft. So I'll just say Uber. Got an Uber back. Stopped and got a pack of cigarettes. And when I got home, sat on my back porch and drank a lot more by myself. So what was going to be no beer because I was just going to go to the bar turned out to be a night of chaos, followed by me waking up the next day and punishing mad beers all day. Blacked out, passed out by before sunset. Drank again the next day, and then the next day I woke up and I was like, all right. How long are we going to play this game? How long are we going to fucking do this little tango, you know? How long are we going to be in this conga line touching each other's shoulders, alcohol? I need to let you go. I need to make a new life. I need to create a new fucking path. Not getting any younger. And I've been doing a lot of self-reflection or whatever the fuck. And, you know, just this past, like, you know, I put my mixtape out. I'm going on a tour in November. My tour is definite, y'all. I should have the dates real soon. I'm going on tour in November and December in the United States. I'm playing in some small towns, y'all. I'm playing in, like, Montana and shit. If there's anybody listening from Montana, I think I got 2 shows in Montana, but I'll know the definite dates. Like I got a bunch of definite dates, but I don't have every date yet. So within the next like 2 weeks, I'll have an announcement of where I'm going to be performing. Anyway, I put out my mixtape. Thanks to everybody who listened to it. Cookout Chronicles. It's on Spotify and iTunes and wherever the fuck digital music is at. Check it out. So I actually have a little bit of time where, you know, of course, as a fucking musician, I could always be doing something. I could always be writing a song. I could always be making a video. I could always be preparing my show for the tour. But I actually have a little bit of time where I kind of can be like, all right, let me focus on myself. I'm just focusing on myself right now. But yeah, I'm just trying. Like this past week, I ain't really gotten too much accomplished besides just talking to a lot of people, going to these meetings. Dude, by the way, I should fucking post it. I should post it on my Facebook. If anybody wants this shit, I mean, there's more than one of them out there, but there's this YouTube video. I think it's like 50 minutes long, and it's a stop smoking cigarettes video. It's a hypnosis video. So you let yourself get hypnotized, and he tells you all this shit. I've listened to it like 3 times now. I listen to it in the mornings. The first time I listened to it, I let myself get into the hypnosis aspect of it. The second time I listened to it, I just kind of listened to it and it's like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And I'm telling you, man, if you're a cigarette smoker and you're serious about quitting, listening to this shit in the morning will fucking help you, man. I also read that Alan Carr book. Shout out to Jeff Day F. Jeff Day F. I think I'm giving you another shout out later, but you sent me this Alan Carr or Alan Parr, real famous book about quitting smoking, the easy way to quit smoking. I read it fucking cover to cover. Well, PDF, page 1 to PDF, whatever the last page is. And it helped a lot. But reading that book combined with doing this stop smoking hypnosis shit in the morning is like extremely helpful in me not smoking cigarettes. It's actually kind of made it seem gross, which is really the most effective thing you can do against cigarettes is like not make it seem like you're quitting something. You know, the whole premise of this quitting smoking book is that you're not quitting anything. You're taking off the chains. You're becoming non-enslaved by the fucking master of nicotine. And, in the hypnosis video, like this guy with a British accent. So, of course, me as an American, I think he knows everything because he has a British accent. That's how we think. You get to this point in the hypnosis where he puts you at the crossroads. The fork in the road ahead of you. One is this long and descending dark road. The other is an upward road into the light. The one that goes to the left, the dark road. He counts down, countdown 3, 2, 1. Now you've been on that road for a year longer of smoking cigarettes. You look down, cigarette butts everywhere. There's packs and cartons and stinky ashtrays. Your clothes reek. You're coughing. Countdown 3, 2, 1. Ugh, now you're 5 years down the road. The mountain of packs and cartons and cigarettes. Butts. Stench is even worse. You can barely breathe. You're starting to sound like an old lady which is especially bad for me as a fucking vocalist. Then he puts you 10 years down the road, and you just imagine yourself down this awful, dark, smoky, stinky fucking road. And then alternately, he takes you back. Now count down from 5. You're back to the fucking crossroads. No time has gone by. Then he counts down 3, 2, 1. You're in 1 year down the light road. Your lungs are feeling fresh. All there is just fresh oxygen and green trees. No cigarette butts. Just fresh, cold water and oxygen. 3, 2, 1. You're 5 years down that road. You're already back feeling really healthy. If you're like me and you're doing you know, you're doing other healthy activities, eating healthy, maybe exercising to go along with it, you start to really picture yourself. You picture yourself as more fit. I started to picture myself as having some like hot yoga instructor wife and all this shit. Like he fucking hypnotized the fuck out of me. And dude, listening to that shit every day, I should post it on my Facebook or something. Matter of fact, just tweet at me at Big Wax if you want the link to the Stop Smoking Hypnosis. There's a bunch of them on YouTube, but the one I listen to, I don't know. That's the one I vouch for. It's fucking helpful, dude. Granted, I'm only 8 days in. I could fucking relapse tomorrow. But yeah, anti-smoking hypnosis video is something that I fucking recommend, dude. And speaking of relapse, I always used to think that word was weird, like relapse. Like it's almost like you're giving yourself this excuse when it's like, yeah, you just did the drugs again. But now I realize, at least in terms of alcohol, the concept of the relapse, like if you're, dude, alcoholism, like it has this final stage where you're just like, dude, I've had enough of this. I can't do this anymore. And then you quit for a while, as I've done several times. But mostly, like, for real, trying forever has mostly been this year. And you just get to a point where you're like, your brain is just tricked. And the alcoholic tells himself the same old lie. This is all in, any fucking Alcoholics Anonymous, the big book, and any other fucking study on alcoholism. It's the same shit, the same fucking lie. I'll just have one, or I'll just drink tonight. And you discover over and over again that you can't do that. And it almost takes those discoveries, those relapses, like that's part of the process. You know what I mean? I'm going through it. My boy Fraser's going through it. I guess I shouldn't be fucking announcing people's names, but got multiple people that I kick it with that have come to this point in their life at the exact same time. It's really weird, man. I can't explain it to younger people. I try. Like if I was 26 and somebody that was in their 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, explained to me that problem, I'd be like, that's cool, but like that's not me, man. You know? I'm good. I like this shit. I do this because I enjoy it. Even at that time I was drinking 12 packs by myself in my room at night, not really realizing that, like, oh, a lot of people would think this is fucking insane. I've done that for like the last decade. I drink a 12 pack of beer by myself at home every night, like it's nothing. And like now I look back at that and I think like, wow, that's insane. Like how come I don't look way older, way more shriveled up and fucking terrible than I do? I don't know what. I guess I got a resilient liver. I don't know. I think that at least I do music, some art, creative shit. It keeps you young, I guess. But the amount of alcohol I put in my body, and like I used to, I mean, if you ever listen to my music, I talk about it a lot. And I vow after every project that my next project's not just going to be a bunch of songs about drinking. And every time since I write about my life, it always is. And I hope that this time it will be for real like that. And I hope that some of you guys aren't like, well, what the fuck are you going to talk about, man? How am I going to drink while I'm listening to music? I'll figure that out. I'll figure that shit out, man. But for right now, the biggest thing in my fucking life is I'm trying not to drink and smoke. That's the biggest thing in my fucking life. Yeah. I don't know. Go to my Facebook, facebook.com/wax.com. I posted this video about addiction that was really interesting. Kind of puts addiction as like something that happens because of the way, addiction is getting worse because our society is becoming more and more isolated in general. In the early 1900s, a study was done with rats. You put a rat in a cage, and he's got two options. He can drink the water or he can drink the water with cocaine in it. And every time the rat ends up drinking the water with cocaine in it, he drinks it till he fucking dies. But then many years later in the 70s, the guy was like, wait a second here. This fucking rat is in a cage by himself. Let's make a fucking cage. It's not even like a cage. It's like a fucking heaven. There's all kinds of fun, colorful balls to play with. There's mad rats in there. People have friends. The rats are having sex with each other. And they did that experiment. They called it rat heaven, and still had the fucking two options for water: the cocaine water and the regular water, and all the rats drank the regular water. And if you grow older and stay with your alcohol shit, and maybe you know a couple other people in the same boat as you, you'll start to notice that in the later stages, when they're really starting to get fucked up, it's not like you go to bars. It's not like, maybe some people fucking do. I don't know. But you do it by yourself. And the worst of it is by yourself. You know, the alcoholics that stay drinking for a long time and just like go to happy hour and then just get home and kind of go to sleep at 8, maybe they last longer because they don't have that miserable shit where they are by themselves and they just fucking, there's something about loneliness and isolation that makes you fucking poison yourself. I don't know what the fuck it is, man. It's really fucking strange. And you look back at it and you think, like, that was a weird decision of me to make. You know, in 2011, I guess, 2010 or 11, whenever that was, I got a fucking record deal with the biggest hip-hop label in the world, Def Jam. And looking back at my behavior when I got that deal, what I should have done is stayed at least relatively sober. Probably should have got in shape. Probably should have worked out, got my body in shape. So I could at least look relatively like some kind of fucking, like some kind of star. You know what I mean? But nah, I just continued to get fucking fucked up all the time. It actually got worse because I had money now. I bought so much fucking beer, just drank. And I didn't really realize it. I thought like, yeah, we're partying. I'm partying. I'm celebrating. This will help me write party music. And, you know, I did write some okay stuff, but I know now that shit's an illusion, man. Like, since I've been, even this summer where I've spent all this time, this year, all the productivity, whether it be the videos that I made, the raps I wrote, the songs I did, the mixtape I put out, all that productivity was during the half of the year on and off where I was fucking sober. You know, it was different 10 years ago. It's different. I got a lot more done when I was drunk, but the shit hadn't caught up with me yet. And, you know, I look back at some of those sessions, and granted, my experience was really weird with the major label shit. Like, trying to being in these sessions, trying to make hit songs. And like, after a while, I just got really like, man, fuck this shit. But looking at it now, you know, it's like, is it really that shocking that I was depressed? Every night I basically filled myself to the fucking brim, to as much as I could possibly take in, every single night, as much as I possibly take in. It was even worse when I can't imagine what some of the producers and shit that I would work with. I mean, I'm sure they're musicians. They're used to people getting fucked up, people doing coke and pills and obviously smoking weed all day. But, you know, I'd be in Miami or Atlanta or here in LA for a week, and I'd just be drinking through the entire week of sessions. And even at that time in my head, I'm like, yeah, this is what I do. This is part of my creative process. But then you come out after a week and you don't have anything you're satisfied with. And looking at that now, it's like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have been fucking shit-faced the whole time. Rocket science expert. So yeah, you're going to reflect. You're going to look back. Well, look, all I can do is look at the future. Yeah, at this point, I'm just going to fucking try to feel the natural joy that comes from being alive. And I'm starting to feel that shit. Starting to feel it. And I promise you that Wax's podcast will not be like this every week, even though I will be tempted. I will be tempted to talk about this shit every week because it's such a heavy thing in my life right now. Such a really heavy thing on my mind. And I don't know, maybe I should do some kind of blog. Maybe I should make it a separate thing instead of like having my sobriety infect Wax's pod. I mean, shit, y'all motherfuckers are probably happy that I even have a podcast. Because I don't do it so often. Which, by the way, me being a drunkard, that's a big part of that. Yeah. Maybe I should do some kind of series. I don't really want to do... I want to be less self-serving, though. I'm trying to be less self-centered in my ways. Even the music I want to make in the future... I don't want to think about it like this is just for me. This is because this is exactly how I feel. I'll still make stuff like that. But I also don't want to be like this is what will appeal to people because this is what will make me money. What I want to do some songs in the future where I think like, yo, this song will be good for people. This song will make children happy. Shit like that. You'll see. You'll see. I got some ideas, but let's do some shout outs and questions, shall we? All right, I am back. I am back in full effect. I caught up pretty well with the emails, guys, by the way. So what's it called? I forgot my fucking email address. beatsforwax@gmail.com. BEATSFORWAX @gmail.com if you want to do an email. If you want to send an email for the podcast for me to possibly discuss. I'm pretty well caught up. I think I'm back to 3 weeks ago. I think I got to 3 weeks ago on the email. So yeah, man. Here's some shout outs. We got Caleb. Are you hearing all this noise when I That's just my hand on the microphone, y'all. I got a handheld mic. That's how I do it. We got Caleb. We got Evan H. But we also got Evan C. The ebb and flow of Evan H. and Evan C. Heavenly. I'm the dude like Devin B. Tara M. Shout out to you, Tara. One of the few females that consistently emails me for the podcast. I think my female listenership has actually gone down a little bit since the beginning of the podcast, which is probably damn near fucking 5 years old at this point. I don't know how old this is episode 119. So if I did one if I really did one every week, that'd only be 2 years and 2 years and a few months, but y'all know how this is. We got Lano Prod, LAYNOPROD. He has a site for his beats, which is lanoprodbeats.com. Go check those out. We got Kristen W., who I actually met here at a comedy show in Los Angeles. It was a comedy show where I did 5 minutes and didn't really do that well. And she was like, can't wait to see another show. Hopefully music. Not the best comedy show I did. Plus, it's 5 minutes, man. But I will have a show here in Los Angeles, Kristen W. That will be in late December, December 20th, 22nd, I believe. I believe it's December 22nd in Los Angeles. But like I said, I will have all the definite details for my tour, the Cookout Chronicles tour, which I will also have the Palmer Squares with me, which is going to be a fun time. I will be trying to be sober on the tour. Fuck. That was the worst. Fuck. But I'm not editing it, y'all. I'm doing a tour with the Palmer Squares, who are in their 20s. Drinkers and smokers. And I'm going to be the sober dad. I'm going to be the chaperone. It's going to be tough, man. Because of my musical history. You know, a lot of people that listen to me, heavy drinkers themselves, love the idea of buying me a beer or a shot. I love the idea of that too. That's great. But on this tour, I'm about to say nope. Can't be can't do just one, man. I wish I could. I wish I could be like, yeah, well, since you bought it, let's just do this one. Then, since I won't drink anymore for the next hour, I'll be sober enough to drive the van to the next city. Speaking of people I know from tour that like to drink, Ed from Chicago. Ed from Chicago. Shout out to you. Fuck, man. I'm going to have to do the sober tour. You know what? It's okay. One day at a time. One day at a time. Jeff and Alex Day F. Jeff and Alex Day F. A brother and sister who I've known for a long time. And Alex Day F, if you go to my Facebook page, she was the one who sent me the picture of some old school photo from the early 1900s of a dude that looks exactly like me. I thought it was pretty funny and pretty fucking random because the dude really looks like me. Shout out to you guys. Sonny from Essex, UK. Petey Machete. Robert C. John S. We got Nations P. We got Sangwan K. Speaking of, shout out to Robert C, by the way. Robert C is another person who knows what I'm going through with this alcohol shit. He's like 2 years sober himself. We got Jack B. We got Geoff Puya from Iran. Zach. Just Zach. We got Rick James, the ill drummer from Kansas. Austin the Awesome from Chicago. We got Stephen R. Nicholas S. Paul H. Brady, a.k.a. Rotten Smoothie from Othello, Washington, who recommends the new Chance the Rapper, the new Frank Ocean, and Stranger Things. Which are classics that like everybody would recommend. Everybody tells me to watch Stranger Things. I did just listen to the Frank Ocean shit, and I got to say, I thought it was great. A lot of people hating on the Frank Ocean album. I listened to that shit. That shit brought tears to my eyes. Maybe it's because of my newly found sobriety and newly found ability to feel my emotions. Maybe it was a good and bad time to listen to the new Frank Ocean album. I still haven't watched Stranger Things yet. I know that's supposed to be great. But Stranger Things have happened. All right. Yo, this is from B. Willis. Yo, Big Wax, what's up? What's your favorite platform of social media? Also, did Galen do the Cookout Chronicles cover art? Looking forward to the new album. This was before it came out. Yes, my boy Galen. Shout out to my boy Galen Frazier, who has done pretty much all my album art. Sometimes my boy AK will took the photo for the back cover. In the past, some of my mixtapes, my boy AK, Jay, and Casey will take the photos. But my dude Galen has always done my artwork. He did the Liquid Courage artwork. He did the Scrub Life, Eviction Notice, Living Foul. I don't think he might have done some. He did a lot of the stuff on Continue too. Yeah, he didn't do the photo, but he did all of it. He does all my flyers. He does all my T-shirts. Ever since I was in a band back in the day, I've known this dude since I was in fucking elementary school. And I know his brother is my boy that I was saying. Me and him were quitting drinking together. And, shout out to him, man. I really owe him $1 million. $1 million. If I hope that I do something now that blows up so I can just fucking buy him a house because he fucking deserves it if I ever blow up. My favorite platform on social media has got to be Instagram, man. Because Instagram, like it's the top of the triangle if you have your Twitter and your Facebook. I like Snapchat, but I don't have enough time. Like I don't think about social media enough to do Snapchat. Like when I'm living my life, like dog, like I think we're getting a little bit fucked up as a human race with this whole social media thing. Like if I'm living my life, I kind of owe it to myself to just live it and just be there and not think like, oh, I have to record this and make a text on it and let everybody know that I fucking did this. Like, it's already I'm already in deep enough with Instagram, with Facebook. Like, Jesus, I'm in too deep already. I don't need more. Some people want more and more and more and more. I have a friend that like even hanging out with the person, it's just like they're not even really there. They're just they're like half there and half like, how can other people experience this moment that I'm living? So I don't think social media is really a good thing for human beings. Like I think there's a certain level where it's like, okay, like happiness is all about being in the present moment. And the less we're in it, the less happy we are. It's not surprising to me that people are alcoholics and people want fucking antidepressants all the time. Anyway, shout out to you, B. Willis. Okay, we got EJP. Drake recently brought Eminem onto his stage in Detroit and said M is the greatest rapper to have ever touched a mic. I happen to disagree with that and thought about it. It'd be hard for me to decide, if I had to, who is GOAT. The reason I couldn't choose M is what he chooses to rap about. Most of his raps are all violent. I understand he is rapping about his life, but when you want to listen to classics, it's just nice to have a change up. So who would you put as GOAT if you had to choose one? You can have a top 3, but must choose one. This is from EJP. I wanted to do a quick response to you, EJP, because I always tell people I don't have a top 10 list. I don't have a top 5 list. Even though rap music specifically is a competitive art form, and I do a lot of raps where I talk about how I'm the best and stuff like that, and a lot of people that I know rap about how they're the best rapper, but I really don't look at it as a competition, man. When it comes to music, like, I think it's kind of apples and oranges. Like, even in something that's pure competition, like battle rapping, if you have even people that don't even have music, it's just a cappella, it's just battle rapping. Like, if you're familiar with battle rapping, let's just take Hollow the Don and Disaster. Like, I might like one of them, you might like one of them, we might watch them battle. I might think this one's cool because he's creative, this one's cool because he's creative in a different way. Like, it's apples and oranges. It's like whoever you like better. It's not even like one of them is better than the other one. And some days I might like one, another day I might like another one. One day I might want to listen to Eminem, another day I'd rather listen to Drake, another day I'd rather listen to Guilty Simpson, another day I'd rather listen to fucking Run DMC, and then another day I'd like to listen to fucking who's hot, Ray Sremmurd. I don't know. I'm just picking names out of a hat, y'all, so don't take all this with a grain of salt. But to me, I don't believe in having, for me personally, I think it's kind of dumb to have top 5 and top 3 and your greatest of all time, because for me, it would change every day. It's kind of like who I'm feeling depends on how I'm feeling. You know, it's interesting because the W, H, and the O, who and how. Who I'm feeling depends on how I'm feeling. So that's how I look at music in general. It's not really a competition to me. I don't think of somebody as the greatest. I don't, I certainly recognize people's skill, but I don't look at it that way, I guess. But I appreciate the question. This next one is from Clones 3K. Hey there, Wax. My name is Brando, aka Clones 3K. Longtime fan of your music, fan of the podcast for a few months. First time writer inner thing. I'm trying to build my own studio setup because I can't afford $1 a minute studio time plus paying an engineer the same wage. Also, my fellow rap friends have schedules that don't match mine, and they smoke and drink a lot in the studio to the point where we don't get work done. It's bad. Like 3 songs in 3 years bad. Yeah, in those kind of environments, I've been in a lot of environments like that. Usually it only works if there's like the one guy that's like the no-nonsense guy. Everybody can drink and smoke, but there's always the guy that kind of like is like, yo, Steve, write your fucking verse. Steve is like the go-to name. So my question is, what will I need to have a complete, decent-sounding setup without making me sleep with old women for money? Because I have no problem putting in the work and promoting myself and booking, but I need actual songs and projects completed on a CD. On a CD that I can show people. I don't know that it has to be on a CD in these days, but, I don't know. It's hard to not be able to get people to listen to your music. It's hard to not be able to get people to listen to your music. It's hard to be. Did you mean it's hard to be able to get people to listen to your music? Because that's true. You're taking up people's time. It's hard for me to get people to listen to my music. Not that many people that aren't already my fans are listening to my mixtape. I wish they would. But, So if I'd never heard of somebody, you tell me to listen to the mixtape, I mean, I might listen to one song. I ain't gonna listen to a whole mixtape. It's all I really want, since everybody is a rapper now and making a lot of money from it, is slim to none. Hoping I'll be able to afford a feature from you one day. P.S. I hope you come to Texas on your tour. I will be at least in Dallas. I have a show booked at Trees in Dallas. I can't remember the date. So at the very least, I'll be in Dallas. I know I'm coming through Texas, but I don't know if I'm doing Houston, Austin, El Paso, San Antonio. I don't know what cities I'm doing besides Dallas. Where are we at? So you're asking me, what do you need? In this day and age, I think all you really need is a pretty basic setup. I don't really know what you do. I don't know how fancy you're trying to get as far as production, or if maybe you're not a producer, you're just a rapper who raps over other people's beats. In that case, if you mostly just need you could do that shit with GarageBand if you had a decent microphone. You need a solid computer that doesn't fuck up and crash, which is, available. I don't know how much that costs these days. I know for like a MacBook Pro, which is probably the best one you could get if you wanted to have a laptop that you can record on, it's probably like what, $1,400. But they probably have Windows ones that are like Dell-ish. Dell I don't even know, dude. I'm so behind. I don't even know if that's still a thing. Do people buy Dell still? I have no fucking idea. You're asking the wrong guy for technical shit. I have a sick ass studio set up in my house, but I have other people to thank for advice on what to get. Whenever I go to the store to buy something major, I bring a friend with me that knows the technical aspect of this shit. I bring my friends that are audio engineers. So even though I went to audio engineering school, I mostly learned like how to use the things that I really took from that are like how to use Pro Tools and how to manipulate stuff like compression, EQ, reverb, like really how to make the music part of it. I don't know shit about what type of speakers are the best, what type of microphones are the best, what type of programs you should use. I mean, a lot of people use Logic, a lot of people use Pro Tools. I think Logic is kind of like the most common thing people use right now. And you can get it for free. Like people always get Logic for free. You definitely can get a bunch of the plugins for free. I'm not the guy to ask how to do that, but yo, Brando, if you want to send another email in or tweet at me so I can see it sooner than I'll see the email, I can link you up with my roommate who can tell you how to get a bunch of free plugins and shit, tell you what sites to go to and all that bullshit. But yeah, you're right. Before you can go book and promote yourself, you definitely need to have songs. You say, but I need actual songs and projects completed. That's an absolute truth. And most likely the first songs that you make will not be that great. I don't know where you are. I don't know. I have no idea how good you are. I have no idea what you sound like. I have no idea how long you've been doing this. But if you haven't actually made a song yet, I mean, yeah, you're starting at the right place. You got to make some songs. And I feel you on not wanting to pay for the studio time, but all in all, I probably shouldn't even answer your question because I don't know really what you need. You need a decent microphone and a computer, and you're going to need something that connects those two together, like an audio interface that makes it so whatever's coming into your mic will show up on your computer screen in your digital audio workstation. I hope that helps at all. There's people on the internet that you could probably reach out to that have a lot more knowledge than me. There's message boards you can go to full of people that have a lot more knowledge than me. And you'll be able to find out a lot of shit. All right, I think I got one more. This is from Yo Wax, Dan the Flan. Or is it Dan the Flan or Don the Flan? Dan the Flan here. I know you have mentioned before that you were raised in a Catholic home. I was. You have made it clear in previous podcasts that you are not a Catholic yourself. That's true. I am in a Christian household, but I don't believe in Christianity. My family has no idea that I am like this. I recently made a rap song talking about what I believe in. I made a video for it and put it on YouTube. Here's the link if you want to give it a listen. I did listen to it. All my Christian friends saw the video and were totally cool with who I am. I'm worried that my family won't be so kind. I was wondering if there was a time in your childhood where you had to tell your parents that you weren't a Catholic, or if it was just or if it was always just an accepted thing. If you have any advice, I would like to hear it. Thank you. Yeah, I saw your video, and I know that you're young, and keep in mind, I was raised Catholic. I went to church every Sunday, and I went to, until I was in 8th grade, I even went to the Sunday school, which we called CCD. Did all the sacraments. I don't think was able to tell my parents, like, look, I don't really want to go to church anymore. I don't think I was able to do that until I was like fucking 17. And even then, like, I'd go here and there, and it definitely went on like Christmas and Easter and stuff like that. But you got to understand too that my parents, although they're Catholic, you know, they're not what's the word I'm looking for? They're not crazy about it. They're not intolerant. They're not like strictly adherent to everything that the Bible says Catholic. You know, they go every Sunday and they believe in it, but they're kind of more into the aspect of do unto others as you have, you know, just be a good fucking person, and they're cool with that. I don't know how, like, I say this because I have had friends where they're quote unquote Christian, where like that Christianity really takes control of every aspect of life, and every part of life is about Christianity. And my parents weren't really like that. I don't remember ever having some kind of talk. I think it was a much more gradual thing about me not really being into Catholicism. I never had a talk like that. I know that in recent years I've definitely told my mom that I don't necessarily believe that there was a guy that was born of a virgin and he was God's son. You know, I might have told that recently. That's just not something I necessarily believe, but I do believe in God. I do believe that there's something. I don't know if it's God or not, but I definitely believe that there's something behind all this shit, you know? As far as advice, I think that you should be honest with them, man. I don't think you have to be ill about it. I don't think you have to be mean about it, but like, be like, listen, I don't know that I believe in this. Can I maybe tell them you want to try out some other religions? Maybe you want to maybe like be like, look, convince me further. I don't know. You know, I don't know how old you are either. I know I could tell by your video you're young, but the song was cool, by the way, man. Yeah. I think that you got to be honest with them, dude. If you tell them like, look, I know you guys are Christian, but I don't know if I want to go that route with my life. I make sure that you tell them that you're still going to be ethically a good person, you know? Don't come at him and be like, look, man, I know that Jesus told me not to kill people in the commandments, but like, dog, I'm trying to murder. Yeah. I would just be honest with him, dude. Or just if you'd rather not have the talk, you know, if you're gonna move out soon and go to college and stuff like that, maybe wait till you don't live there. Maybe have the talk after you move out. Then they'll think all your friends are satanic and evil. You know, how could we let him leave our Christian household to go to this college of sin? I don't know, Dan. I think honesty is the best policy in that. If they really want you to be Christian, they will try to convince you further. And if they get too crazy about it, just be like, man, just like look at yourselves, guys. This is weird. This isn't for me. I'm still your son. Still love you guys. You still love me. We just might not see the Bible in the same way. You see it as a gift from God. I just see it as some shit some dude wrote. I don't know, man. Why do I answer serious questions like this on my podcast, knowing goddamn well I don't know anything? You know, I should just tell myself to take it easy when it comes to those kind of situations. You know. Anywho, That's it for today, y'all. Wax's podcast. Be safe out there.